I've been looking forward to this episode, and most definitely it's going to be very much inspiring to our South African viewers, our A2B viewers.
Man,
With everything that he said, it's obviously true. Fully agree.
for you to become the good leader, you need to deal with your people.
Aspirations and goals.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when you can connect everybody to one vision and one mission, and all those things are coming together, unstoppable.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I broke my relationship with my mother for a period of time.
Mr. Petrina has a lot of H2Bs in his program, but he knows each and everything about this.
Everybody.
Everybody.
I have one
Right.
question for Mr. Petrina. When it comes here, let me know. I have just one question. Maybe that question is gonna make us or break us.
No risk.
This is, this is something just to say thank you for just coming to the drive-thru.
So the weather doesn't affect your family at all.
No, I mean, I think we love it. We all come to Florida for the weather for one reason or another. And the hurricanes just make it fun.
Yeah. So when the members move north, because they said it's too hot in Florida during winter, during summer, I mean.
Here at Boca Woods, that doesn't happen too frequently. We keep about
yeah?
76% of our membership year round.
Really?
Our summers are busy.
Oh,
So you operate throughout.
We are open all the time, doing all sorts of crazy things.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Some of the country clubs, like during that time, they not that they shut down, but it
most of
becomes very slow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is not Boca Woods.
Wow, that's amazing. So
Yeah.
it's a different country club.
I mean, that means the community here loves it here, because I mean,
Yeah.
they never want to leave. So
Yeah, they
All
are
right,
always here.
ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, my name is King Natu Mtakamtembo Mtakamvela Sumakeza ngandisa matsakona sango luchichichi mnamngonye wavele nyande ncheza la cause la
so
mshona
much
chalete
God.
uchapa chapa umkhonto kashaki awazonda machichi namanyuwane maboy.
hola, it's the dangerous MC. I'm not Mr. Party Time right here. I'm on a very serious case, King Nadi. I've been looking forward to this episode, and most definitely it's going to be very much inspiring to our South African viewers, our A2B viewers.
Man,
I'm going to
man,
let you
man,
introduce
man.
this gentleman.
Oh,
Right
whoa,
here.
whoa. The father of two, the leader, the general manager of a country club, Mr. David Sweet. How are you, sir?
I feel really good about this. It's a pleasure to be surrounded by two great people.
Man, thank you so
you.
much for coming through. Thank you so much for driving through, and thank you so much for going through
It's my pleasure.
with us through this journey.
Through.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor to have you, because most of the time, before we get the guests that we can talk to, some of them they're gonna go, okay, let me check on your YouTube and see if maybe. But immediately when you receive our invitation, you were like, Nati, go ahead, set up an
do
appointment.
this.
Yeah. How long have we been together?
Oh man. Thank you for coming through, my brother. Thank you
pleasure.
so much. Ladies and gentlemen, on YouTube, we are Thrive_through23. On TikTok, we are Thrive.through23. Your support means a lot to us. Dangerous.
Well, I hope-
Without our followers, man, we are nothing.
We're nothing. I mean, also, if you check that we're actually growing.
Yeah,
we
I've
posted a
seen,
couple
man.
of videos on
Yeah,
our
man.
channel, and we're growing. We're actually talking about this day.
Yeah.
On the 24th. This is the day where we were like, yo, we could have something very much interesting that we have to offer our A2B. And
Right now, it's
check it out.
happening.
Check it out.
So, Mr. David Sweet,
Talk to me.
You heard me the way I introduced myself, like blah 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 blah. I think you were not understanding what I was
Yeah,
saying.
I agree. With everything that he said, it's obviously true. Fully agree.
Maybe you didn't understand anything
Anything.
that I was saying.
It's the vibe.
Exactly. That's what it happens back home in Africa, no? Or let me just be specific and say South
South
Africa.
Africa, yes.
So when they give us names, they name us based on the situation that time.
Yeah.
So if
It's a clan name.
yeah,
Call it the
it's a clan name. So if you were born during the rain season, they're gonna say your name is Umvula. Umvula means rain.
Rain.
Got it.
You understand? So it's like you. Maybe there was a meaning behind why they name you David.
Yeah. David means lion-hearted. If
See?
you do some research in the Bible, you learn about King David.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, the
But-
one who defeated Goliath.
Yeah. So
Okay.
before he was
Yeah.
King David, he was just a little shepherd who was protecting his flock, and he stood up to Goliath, and he took Goliath down. So that's where that name comes
Very
from.
powerful.
So your father, your mom gave you the name?
Yeah, my parents. Yeah.
Both of them. They
Yeah.
agreed that this is our
Together.
king.
This is a king, of course.
No, they prophesized your
They
life, man.
prophesied.
Because trust me, being a general manager in a county club, of
course.
you are more like a councillor, you are more like a mayor, you are more like a president.
You see.
Because you are taking care of the community, right? There are people who are staying here. There are people who are working here. It's a community itself.
So I think if you do the job right,
Yeah.
If you do the job right, it's not about you, it's about the people you care for.
Yeah,
And the
exactly.
people you care for are you guys who I work with day in and day out, the people who live here in this beautiful community that we're blessed to serve.
Mm-hmm.
But when you realize that your role as a general manager is connecting people with passion and purpose, it changes things.
Yeah.
You become that shepherd. You care more about your people than yourself. And
Yeah.
what happens in those moments is that your people make you really, really proud, and that's how you win.
Oh, that's good, man. And you know, my father, there was a time when he tells me, he said, whenever you lead people, their behavior is going to be your reflection.
Yeah, I
Like,
think that's fair.
There is no, like, for you to become the good leader, you need to deal with your demon. Because people, they want to bring their personal life into the workplace, and that affects a lot of people, especially that you lead.
Of course.
But once you deal with your personal issues, now you know that now I'm a leader, I'm leading people who are coming from different religions, different cultures, and all the stuff. Then that's when you win as a leader.
Yeah,
But
I
if you're
agree.
just gonna do things because of you think this is me and I like it this way, sometimes
Yes.
you need to consider other people's feelings on how they feel about it.
So we talk about this a lot in the industry. We talk about the concept of leadership, the theories behind leadership. So there are managers, people who tell people what to do, and then
to
there are
do.
leaders.
Yes.
The big difference is a leader inspires, right?
course.
Your whole role is to set a vision and to help others to see that vision. And when everybody's buying into that, it doesn't matter if you're there or not.
Yeah.
A manager needs to be there.
Yes.
Thumb on you, tell you what to do. A leader helps you to see that big picture, and if you're inspired by it, if you genuinely connect to it, then you're doing it not because the person's there, but because it's your vision too.
Yeah, yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, that's
does.
beautiful, man.
Yeah.
That's like you just broke it nicely. Now I understand what's happening.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
think the big difference here. Let me start back.
Yeah.
I started here at Boca Woods in 2016, and in 2016 there was a program. Wasn't H2B, it was J1,
Yeah.
but they felt completely disenfranchised.
Yeah.
This was a group of people who were genuinely good people but weren't connected
Connected,
to
yeah.
anything.
Of
Yeah.
course.
And the core staff that worked here were almost treating those people like they were tools or
Yeah,
cogs,
yeah.
right? In I think many people who've come through the H2B program, they may have this message that can resonate with them
course,
because
of course.
they felt that somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't need to go into places, but I think one of the things that we did right from the go in 2016 was we had this downtrodden group, and the core staff that were here year round, they weren't having a good experience either.
Mm-hmm.
So when we brought everybody together and said, listen, we are all people, we're all humans, part of the same team.
Yeah.
That's where when you look to the Credo card that we put in place, and this is special to me,
Yeah.
but that's where the concept of one team came from.
One team.
Yeah, so when you
Yeah.
look, you know exactly what I'm
I
talking
know,
about.
yeah.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah, when you look right here on the top of our guiding principles, the very first guiding principle is that we are one team. And this is one team all made up of people. In every human, no matter
Yes.
who you are, you have things that you care about. You have responsibilities. You have fears.
Yes.
You have aspirations and goals.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when you can connect everybody to one vision and one mission, and all those things are coming together,
Together.
unstoppable.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Oh, that's beautiful, man. Yeah, now you're taking us far now. Yeah. So that is why when you join a team, number one, you must look at the culture,
Yes.
the way they live, the way they behave, and see if your culture is gonna fit in there.
Do you know
And
what's also
yeah.
very much important when I started to be part of the team? When my leader, which is, I'm referencing to Mr. David Sweet,
Yeah.
I think it was my first week, he actually knew my name. It's like, Wong, I was like, oh my gosh, I've never actually, a GM, actually to know me that quickly. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
this is the team that I was promised when I was reading.
Yeah.
Because when we're doing the orientation, I had that card in my handbook.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is exactly what they were talking about in the orientation.
Yeah, yeah.
So
No, that's
I
good,
mean-
man. Yeah, that's very good. Okay, without wasting of any time, Mr. David Sweet, we know you better, but our viewers, they know nothing about you.
Sure.
So now I want us to talk about David before you get married, David before you get into the industry,
Sure.
David that was staying under his parents' roof.
In
I
Rhode
want to
Island.
speak to that David.
No,
right now.
for me it was upstate New York. I
Upstate,
was in
yeah.
Rhode Island
Okay.
too. So this is where I promised you that there would be no questions off limits.
Yeah.
So I grew up in this little farm town in upstate New York, middle of nowhere, and my parents were divorced when I was 13 years old.
Oh man.
Shook
Yeah.
my entire world, right? You
course.
grow up thinking certain things that,
Yeah.
that you understand certain things, and when you realize that what you understood isn't what was
What's
real,
real.
that can really shake you at the foundation.
Yeah.
So I got a little crazy when I was in high school.
Yeah.
I acted out a little bit,
Of course.
and I think that's part of many people's journey.
Of course. I mean, yeah.
And for me, those moments when I kind of released, that was something that helped me to focus. And so one of the things that came to me and helped me to find that one team mentality, so at the age of 12, I went to this downtown area, little restaurant called Elena's Sweet Indulgence.
Okay.
And Elena was this beautiful older woman. She was named Businesswoman of the Year in 1995. I didn't know anything about that at the time.
Yeah.
I was just this little kid looking for a job.
For a job, of course.
Yeah. So I would go and I would help clean her kitchens overnight around 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'd bust through, and around 4:30 or so, the bakers would come in. So I started asking questions. What are you doing? Show me the dough. Show me what you're doing. And I learned how to bake the breads. And so the bakers went to Elena and said, hey,
At the age of 13.
I was 12.
12,
Yeah.
13,
Yeah, at that time.
Okay. Wow.
And this kind of story of hospitality, this is what kept me grounded and helped me to find drive again
Yeah.
in a world that I was completely unsure of after that. And so loved what they were doing. They told her, hey, I think you've got something here. So she brought me in during the day, had a conversation. I started washing dishes on the weekends. And I'd hurry up and rush through the dishes because all these things were happening around me in the
You
kitchen.
want to see that. You, of
Yeah,
course,
yeah.
want to be a part
So
of
the
that.
faster I can get that done, the more I can find out what this person's doing or what
my
that person's
gosh.
doing.
Yeah.
And I never asked for anything in return. I was just hungry. I wanted to
You
learn.
want to get
Yeah.
the knowledge. You want to get, yeah.
And at that age, I didn't recognize that the more that I knew, the more powerful I could become. I just wanted to know what they were doing. You know, there was no self-interest in mind. I was curious. And I think that one of the lessons that we can all walk away with is in human nature, there is an inherent curiosity. You look at a little tiny baby picking up
course.
blocks,
Yes,
trying to
man.
learn how to walk.
Yeah.
It's because they're curious.
They're curious.
And
yeah.
we allow society to stomp that curiosity out of us, right? Something happens where we're curious in the wrong direction, somebody shuts us down.
Yeah.
When you get shut down enough times, you put that curiosity in a box, you lock it
box.
up, and you forget about it. But my message, my thought, never let go of that curiosity, because that curiosity is what drives you to become great. Learned what everybody was doing in that kitchen. By the time I graduated high school, I was her catering manager, helping to coordinate all sorts of events and jobs.
While you were still studying.
Oh, yeah. I was in high school.
nice.
I was in high school. I think I was 17 when I first became catering manager. So I learned all about what was happening
Catering
in the
manager
kitchen.
or just a server?
Catering.
Oh, no,
manager.
catering manager.
Wow, okay.
Yeah,
Same
yeah.
thing, okay.
So in this little tiny place,
Yeah.
I'm working through all these places in the kitchen. Then she's like, it's a counter service restaurant. You know the food. Why don't you come out? And so I started to develop my ability to talk to other people. I knew what...
And trust me, you're doing great on that, man. I'm giving you flowers, my brother. That one, even if it's a small meeting, like
I'm
a
giving
small
you
meeting.
right now.
Oh, Mr. David Sweet. Like a small meeting, he will come. Oh, my name is David Sweet.
You see?
That's great, man. Let me not disturb you. Yeah, carrying
You just
on
got
and,
to teach me your language so I can help you with the introduction.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so all this excitement, and there were rewards that came from it, but I wasn't focused on the rewards. I was focused on the curiosity.
Yeah.
So I genuinely believe that hospitality is successful when we stop focusing on self-interest, we focus on curiosity, we build from that, and people recognize what we're doing. Does that make sense?
It
Yeah.
makes
Like, I-
perfect sense.
I know where both of you started with me and where you are now, and you both are climbing these ranks because of that curiosity.
Curiosity.
Yeah.
It wasn't because you were trying to show off for me or anybody else. It's because you were genuine. You care,
Yeah.
you deliver, and in that process, you see something that you don't understand and you want to learn more about it. That's how we grow.
So curiosity drove you.
Curiosity drives me today.
Oh, man.
The reason I'm sitting here is curiosity.
Yeah, no, you wanted to know what's going to happen.
What's gonna happen?
So now, growing up in a house where there's only a single parent,
Yeah.
you were most on the side of your mother or your father?
Yeah, so I broke my relationship with my mother for a period of time. My brothers and sisters stayed with my mother. I stayed with my dad.
Okay.
And I think it's because a part of growing up, especially at that age, teenage years, you see things as right or wrong.
Yeah.
It's either a 1 or a 0.
It was 0, yeah.
It either is or it's not.
Yeah.
And so I reflected that level of judgment on my parents, and it took me years. I think it wasn't until I graduated college that I realized how short-sighted I was. The reality is the world is not black or white, the world is gray. Every human has 100 different things that causes them to make a decision that they make.
Sure.
And who are we to sit before higher power and judge? It's not right. But it is human nature.
So, but do you have a good relationship with your mother now?
Yeah, it was in that moment that I was graduating college. I did okay in school. I'm graduating college. We're all sitting around the table. And I just recognized how stupid I was being, in part because the woman who I married, I met her in college. Okay. And she was previously married. And my younger self would have judged her for that relationship not working out. But my older self, somebody who stepped back from judgment, listened, and allowed that person to be open, I learned all sorts of things that helped her to make the decisions that she was making. Yeah. And rather than sitting in judgment, I sat in awe and respect. And I think I reflected in my personal relationship and realized how stupid and short-sighted I was being with my own mother. Yeah. And shame on me for those moments. I think as human beings, though, we all make mistakes.
True.
Yeah, and we may not realize it for years, and that was the case for me.
It's very good when you reflect, and then it's another story when it's still those mistakes, reflecting, you don't want to change them, but it's still you had that time to actually, you had to change that, you want to change that,
Yeah, exactly.
No,
sometimes, man, through the journey of growing up, there's a lot of things that we do along the way. There's a lot of mistakes that we come across along the way, but believe me, if you're stuck in your past, you'll never see your future. Because at some point, man, as much as you can go to church, you can go everywhere, but if you don't forgive yourself as a person, nothing will happen. You just have to take a courage to say, you know what, I did wrong, I forgive myself, then you go and ask for an apology. That way, things will work better for you as a person.
So I am probably slower to forgive myself than I am to forgive other people.
Yeah.
And in part, I think that's what drove me to invest even more in the relationship with my mother. So I'm blessed, I'm grateful that today, now 20 years later from that point in my life, she's probably my best friend.
Oh!
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
I was scared. I was about to ask them to say, hey,
nothing's off limits. Nothing's off limits. So it was in part my wife who helped me to see my short-sightedness. And I think you talk about the people that you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
And if you're surrounding yourself with people who help you elevate, then you grow in life.
Yeah.
And you can also surround yourself with people that hold you back. So the people that we choose to surround ourselves, really, really important decisions that we make.
Oh my gosh.
In high school, maybe I chose some of the wrong people.
Yeah.
But my wife has launched me on a journey that I find completely miraculous.
Oh my
In fact, the reason that I'm here at this club today is in part a conversation that I had with
Today
her.
we're gonna call people. I feel like we're gonna call people today.
Do you know what they say? Do you know what they say? Behind a very strong man, there's always a female.
Yeah, man.
behind
Yeah.
there. So
Yeah, she's
right.
unstoppable.
So with that,
Yeah.
it's true. Like the way you expressing yourself, and there's a lot of involvement with Mrs. Sweet right now.
Yeah, for sure.
That means she is a huge part in.
Yeah, she's a powerhouse.
She's a powerhouse.
Yeah.
That's
of course.
beautiful, man. So, what is that one thing that you regret on your childhood?
Oh, the biggest, I just shared it. The biggest regret that I have from my childhood was distancing myself from my mother.
Yeah.
And I will, like I said, I'm not quick to forgive myself. I still to this day hold that against myself.
Yeah.
I'm a different human than I was then.
Yeah.
And every one of you are different than you were a year ago, 2 years ago, even yesterday.
Even yesterday.
Because
true.
each of the things that we experience helps us to grow. And I think, like you said, you can either live in the past or you can accept those experiences and help them propel you forward.
Yeah.
So those tough experiences, I hesitate to call them regrets because each one of them is a part of who I am today.
Yeah.
And I can't be me without that.
Okay. And there was a person involved in your life to make you aware, your wife.
Yeah. She is a part of my mirror.
Yeah.
Each of us need to develop our mirror, our ability to see ourselves, right? And as we develop that mirror, our goal should be to hopefully overcome blind spots.
Yeah, yeah.
And my young judgment, that was a huge blind spot for me. I thought I was right.
Yeah.
It took a long time for me to realize that I was being a child.
Yeah. Okay. No. Anyway, I can see where is this coming from. It's coming from deep in your heart, from that corner of your heart, man. I can even see in your face like the emotions and all the stuff. But you know what?
Hard.
It's a journey. Life is journey at the end of the day. Like, you know, we grew up in different situations, different cultures. We met wrong people on the streets. Some of us, we adapt the attitude of the street, like forgetting about what we were taught in the house. But at the end of the day, you became the great man that you are today. And that is why today there's so many people who woke up in the morning coming to work. They are living under your leadership. It's because of your past. Sometimes, you know, my father, my late father, he was my inspiration. Because, you know, whenever I'm down, my father will always tell me that, Nati, I believe in you. I gave you the name. My name is Nkosi Nati. It means God is with us. I gave you this name on purpose. This journey of life is not easy. But if you want things to come smooth on you, you're going to lose them at a later age. It's better for you to struggle now, face the consequences now,
learn from them.
And then you live a better life in future. You understand?
Yeah, the gifts you earn, you respect and you treat well. The things that are given to you, they can go away easy.
Yeah, exactly. All right, man. I'm so happy. At least today, I know that person that I wanted to. I don't want to go too deep about it.
No, you're good. You're good. It's okay. Nothing's off limits.
Yeah, okay.
I promised.
What is that one word that you can say to your mother now? Not word, but what is there that you can say to your mother just to show how the appreciation, your mother, your wife, and
I think that one word is trust. And I thank her for her patience, her resilience, in the fact that she trusted me even when I was making mistakes to come back.
Okay.
Yeah, and she could have easily held that against me. She should have. She had every right to.
Okay.
But instead, she trusted that I would come back, and our relationship is stronger than it ever could have been because of that.
Okay, so your mother, she's in New York now?
She is, yeah. She lives in upstate New York where I grew up.
And your father is in New York still?
Yeah, they're both in New York.
Okay, when last did you see your mother?
That's a good question. I'm going to see her in 2 days.
Okay, 2 days. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
and
beautiful.
the last time I saw her was 4 months ago.
Okay, that's good, man.
Yeah.
I wish you all the best.
Yeah, that wasn't the case coming up through the ranks, though.
Yeah.
When you're investing in your career, when you're growing, when you're in that growth mode, man, there were years I didn't see her, 2, 3, 4 years at a time.
Okay, let us now talk about your journey to the
sure.
hospitality industry. I've seen that you started your hospitality industry long time at high school when
Very
you became
young
the
age.
catering manager at the age of 17.
Yeah, I fell into that
Yeah.
really on accident.
It was an accident. I was preparing you for the
Yeah,
big
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I was
Yeah.
preparing
So-
for the big stuff.
So this hospitality thing, it's more than just a job or a career. It's a culture.
Yeah.
When you taste it, there's adrenaline that comes with it. There's love that comes with it. You build this camaraderie. You want to read some cool things. Look up some of the things that Anthony Bourdain said about it. He's got this line about you'll never truly understand what it means until you're the person, you're the thing standing between a hungry mouth and a $28 pork chop.
Yeah.
And the reality is, though, is that it's funny, but the reality is that any of us who have experienced that, there becomes this sort of family, this connection, this relationship between folks in the service industry, because it's unlike anything else. Anything else. I laugh about it with people who are in other industries.
Yeah.
We serve a product. We're in manufacturing. We manufacture a product. Right? The kitchen is manufacturing.
Of course.
We manufacture a product that literally dies within 10 minutes of it being finished.
Yeah.
Our commodity, it's insane what we do. And at the same time, we're delivering this to people who all have different backgrounds, different expectations.
Yeah.
Their mom serves something a certain way. So we're trying to find ways to engage these people, hundreds of them at a time in our dining room, that have completely different expectations.
Yeah.
It's incredible what we do.
Different taste.
Oh yeah, different taste. Yeah, that's salty. There wasn't enough salt. This is too hot. I'm sorry, that wasn't hot enough. Yeah.
So,
You have to work on that all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful, man. So when did you decide to say now, because I saw that you have a degree in hospital management.
Yeah.
So when did you decide this is gonna be, this is a career for me?
It was through that initial experience in high school. I just, like I said, I fell in love with it and it became a part of my DNA, a part of my culture. I couldn't let it go. So when there was an opportunity for secondary education, I was blessed with 2 opportunities. Cornell was offering a scholarship up in Ithaca, New York.
Oh, nice.
Which is an hour and a half from where I grew up, or Johnson and Wales, where I went to school, was offering a scholarship out in Rhode Island, which was like 3.5 hours, 4 hours from where I grew up. So I wanted to see more of the world. Went to Rhode Island, went to Johnson and Wales, and the education was incredible. I worked a couple of jobs through school, graduated. I was sure my path was going to take me through corporate hotels. I saw myself in some corporate management role at some point in the future, and everything changed.
Yeah. You know, during COVID, dangerous in South Africa.
Yeah.
During COVID, like hospitality industry was the only industry that was still standing in South Africa.
Yeah.
I have a friend who was a food and beverage manager. When I lose my job in South Africa, he was still working.
You were still working.
Like normal hours, life was just normal.
There's a huge demand in that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Life was just normal. Only us on other sectors whereby now we're like complaining and all the stuff. But the food industry was still excelling during that time.
Yeah.
So coming to Boca Woods, but before we speak about Boca Woods, I want you to explain to us, like, what is Country Club? Because most people, they actually don't understand. Some they think it's a hotel, some they think it's a restaurant.
No,
nothing
like that.
Yeah, can you just go deeper and just explain to us, to somebody who doesn't know anything about what is a country club?
Okay. Something that I never thought I was going to be involved with, country clubs, and I'm so grateful that I found myself here. So for you, your tough time in career, COVID drove it.
Yeah.
For me, it was in the U.S. There's this time we call the Great Recession when the housing market crashed, and all of a sudden disposable income was less. So I was thriving in a hotel up in the Boston area. My departments were some of the only departments that were excelling. The hotel itself didn't have a lot of visitors, and I ended up getting laid off because I was making a decent wage. So they decided that that was a position that needed to go.
Yeah.
So another moment in time where my world gets shocked, right?
Oh my God. Yeah.
I immediately pivot. I get into restaurants because restaurants are doing okay. But the unemployment rate starts escalating, and people don't go out to eat when they're not earning money.
Yeah.
Right. So at one point, unemployment in Rhode Island, where I was living, 9.5%.
Oh, really?
It was higher than California. Never happened in the history of this in the country.
Yeah, that's a big number.
Yeah, it was huge. So we're realizing that things are starting to get tougher. Part of my income at that time came from bonuses based on sales. You're not selling a lot if people aren't going out to eat. And I get a random crazy call from a guy that I used to work with. He says, hey, I'm down at a country club in Florida. I'd love you to come visit. So I send Jamie a text. I think I'm teasing because we had talked about going to Colorado. There was an offer there. She said, no way, we've got 40 family members. Why would we ever? So I shoot her this joke text. I already tell the guy, no, we can't do that. I get a call within 5 minutes. She goes, wait a second, are you saying Florida?
Yeah.
Wait, you mean Boca?
So, yeah.
I said, yeah, but don't worry. I already told him, no, it's not going to work. 40 family members. She goes, well, yeah, that's all true, but that's Florida.
Yeah.
So long story short, I call the guy back up. I'm like, hey, I'd love to come down and check it out. I'm at Woodfield Country Club. They fly me down. I do this wild tour. Place is gorgeous. It is a full-on resort. Reminds me of some of the nicest resort hotels that you've ever seen. But the biggest difference is that the people who spend time there, they all live on the campus. So there were 1,200 homes there, all people coming every day, day in and out, interacting with this resort. I fly back home, talk to Jamie. We talk ourselves out of it again.
Yeah.
I call up and I say,
Who's Jamie?
Jamie, my wife.
Jamie.
Oh,
Jamie.
Jamie, not Jimmy.
Yeah, no,
okay.
Jamie. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I fly back to Rhode Island. We're all excited. I'm telling her how great this was. We talk ourselves out of it.
Okay.
We're a 2-income family. How's it going to work? I'll have a job, but it'll take her months to find a job. We've got nowhere to live, blah, blah, blah.
Oh,
so
yeah.
By that time she was working. Where?
we were both working up in New England.
New York.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I call and I say, I'm sorry, it's not going to work. The next morning, I get a call from the general manager of this country club. Says, hey, David, this is Evan. I said, oh, hey, Evan, how are you? Because I understand you turned us down. Can you tell me about this? I said, yeah. 2-income family, blah, 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 we're concerned. And this is where I realized country clubs are totally different. Eben says to me, and I'll never forget this, he says, can I talk to your wife?
Really?
Yeah. Crazy, right?
Are you serious now?
Corporate hotels, corporate restaurants.
Yeah.
Wait a second, you want to talk to my wife? I said, well, I guess so. So I hand her the phone. She's pacing all over the house, laughing, talking, serious conversations.
And are you sitting there? These people are discussing me.
I'm like, what's going on?
He knew the main influence.
Yeah.
Smart man.
Yeah.
Smart man. Yeah. So, hour and a half goes by, and she hangs up the phone. Sometimes I speak off color. I realize this is a podcast, so I won't. I say, I'm censoring myself here. I say, Jamie, what was that? She goes, well, Dave, I don't really know, but I now have a job across the street from your job at another country.
Oh my God!
We're on the clock. We start in October.
That was
Yeah. So I said, oh, so you accepted the job for me? She goes, yeah, you're going. I go, okay. Yeah.
Smart move.
Yeah.
Smart move.
So never in business would I expect that, but at country clubs are so much different.
okay, wait, Mr. David. Hey. So now,
Yeah.
so now, you declined the offer
Twice.
twice. And
Well,
now
no,
this
they need a
guy kept on David. You keep on saying, and at the end of the day, after he get your feedback, he spoke to your wife and offered your wife a job across the street.
Yeah, so he had a close connection with Boca West Country Club.
Okay.
And that's where Jamie works to this day. She's been there for 12 years, ever since October of 2012.
Until today.
Until today.
Wow.
Yep.
Just across the street? Boca
Just
West?
across the street.
West.
He knew about a job that
that's where I
fit her
started.
background. That's where you started.
where I
Yeah, there you go. A
started.
lot of people started there. He knew about a job across the street that they were looking for, and he had a good enough relationship where without even telling them, he knew he could promise her the job. So he calls them up and he says, I've got your person, take the job ad off, and he put her in that place. And she has excelled there like you wouldn't believe. I think she's been promoted like 6 different times.
And she started as a supervisor there?
She started as a supervisor in the catering department, worked her way up, and then across into accounting. She's now the controller overseeing $15 million in food sales every year.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, big deal.
You're coming from a very big house. Like, when I say big house, I mean like you guys are dealing with a lot of things.
Boca West. Oh, yeah.
Boca West is huge, man.
Yeah.
Boca West is huge.
Yeah, so back to your question, what are country clubs? Country clubs are not like you think. If you're familiar with restaurants and hotels, you know maybe the first 1% of what a country club is. A country club, yes, it's a resort atmosphere, but in all these other businesses, your guests are transient. They come in, you might build a relationship for a day or two, then they're gone, somebody else fills the seat.
Okay, but before, sorry to disturb you.
No, you're good.
I'm interested, before you tell me about the country club, I'm interested to the part after that guy now is calling you. Okay, your wife now, I'm interested to that one. Your wife now is telling you that I'll be working across the street. Then what was your response on that?
I just was like stunned. It took me, we're so busy with our own jobs that really aren't going anywhere. And all of a sudden, there's this world of possibility that's opening up. But at the same time, it's frightening.
Yeah.
Right? So we've never lived in Florida.
Okay.
I never thought I would live in Florida, period. And all of a sudden, we've got to make this major move. We've got to, do we sell our things? Do we move our what are we going to do? We have two young girls at this time. We really have no plan.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, we're in this go mode where we've got to try to figure out a plan.
Yeah.
And like anyone in this situation, we put it off. So we just continue grinding away. We're working.
Yeah.
And it's literally the weekend before we're driving down to Florida, pack the car up. We go to my sister's wedding in Saratoga, New York. And on the dance floor, we're laughing like, we don't know what we're going to do. We don't know how this is going to work. And on the dance floor, this kid I grew up with, he goes, oh, you know, so-and-so, he's a realtor down there. I go, so-and-so, I went to grade school with him. We were in the same class in like first grade. So he gives me the phone number. So now we're driving down and we still have no clue what we're doing. And we're driving down, we call him up. I say, hey, Dan, we're on our way, blah, blah, blah. Do you think you could help? Oh, yeah. I got everything covered. Come on down. I'll take Jamie. We'll tour around. I'll show her where you could potentially live. Jamie gets in the car with him. I get over right to work, start putting things together. And as they're going, Jamie's talking about, we're two-income family, both have jobs. We have no idea how we're going to get our kids to school, what we're going to do.
Sure.
So Dan says, oh, well, I don't know if you're interested, but my wife's mom, she runs this church, and there are always people looking to do extra stuff.
Yeah.
So the Saratoga wedding, the drive down, we end up with a realtor. We end up with somebody who comes to the house and helps to get the girls ready for school, get them out to school, while we're both grinding away, working like crazy. It all just kind of fell in place. So in my mind, what I reflect on from this is, in life, it is rare that you reap some sort of a big reward without taking some sort of a risk. In the folks who are risk averse, the people who are scared of risks, they're afraid to make that jump, those tend to be the folks who accept status quo.
Yeah.
And the reality is status quo is not rising. Status quo in the world of economics ends up being the opposite of rising, because you're earning the same dollar, but the dollar is worth less and less.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's this moment in time that we almost forced ourselves into this risk. We weren't sure what was going to happen, and that was 12 years ago. And now today I'm running Boca Woods Country Club.
Wow.
She's running $15 million in food and beverage.
Congratulations.
All from very humble beginnings. Not really a clear path in mind, just a drive and a curiosity.
Wow. You see, we almost
I think
lose
the
very important information.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing that we got from this interview, curiosity actually
Yeah,
builds.
that's big.
Be curious, man.
Curiosity actually builds.
Just be that person who's interested. What's happening behind that door? If I can go in there, what's gonna happen? Because man, those posts, like sometimes maybe you are the food and beverage director. You will know until you are given an opportunity. You will never know. And the more you say no, you are closing opportunities for you.
And I think, don't be afraid if that curiosity leaves you, get burned. Don't be afraid to take a burn and learn from it.
Learn from it.
Right? I mean, you mentioned what happened with COVID for you in South Africa. I shared with you what happened to me with the Great Recession.
Exactly.
That was a burn. It came from a curiosity about this hotel in Boston. But at the end of the day, what I learned from that, what I learned from all of this, has propelled me toward other places in my journey.
That's good, man.
Yeah,
That
the road to a mountain, if you try to climb it straight, you get exhausted, you fall. But when you work your way around that mountain to the top, you learn more about the whole landscape, and it's a much more comfortable in a safer climb.
Yeah. That is why I always say, don't personalize failure. You must never personalize failure. The market fail, the product fail, the business fail, but you as a person, you'll never fail.
That's well
You
said.
fail until you say, I'm a failure. Once you personalize it, that's when
You're
you become
owning
the
that,
failure. Yeah, exactly. So going back to but I'm so happy with your journey, man. So far, I relate somewhere, somehow, but this is about you. This is not my my interview, it's your interview. But on your story, telling me all these things, I relate a lot.
Of course.
When we're in South Africa, when we look America through the window.
Yeah.
When you check on someone through the window, you are not there, you're checking them through the window. When you look America, when you're in South Africa, we just think everyone is living good there. Yeah. Everyone is happy.
You see the movies.
You see the movies, yeah. It's like
we just think that, like when I leave South Africa coming here, I'm telling you, everybody wanted to be close to me.
Yeah.
Why? Because you are going to America. You know the expectations you're creating when you come back home. You will come back driving a Ferrari, living in a huge house. They don't know what's happening. So, but I'm so happy that you had to share that, because some of our viewers are H2Bs, people in South Africa, people who are in America thinking that a general manager, David Sweet, he was privileged from the start. Now they know that you work your way up there.
Oh, yeah.
It was just not
hard.
just easy for you just to go to the top. You went to the top. Somewhere, somehow, you were failing. It was painful. You accepted the ban. Somewhere, you give up. But today, you are here, sitting here.
There are no free rides. There are no free meals. Somebody expects something from you every time. And if you're on this sort of privileged coast, it's the same thing that you told me that your father taught you.
Yeah.
It's that if it was just given to you, you lose it real easy.
Yeah.
But if you've worked really hard and you earn it, that's something that you respect and you covet, you cherish.
And that really worked for me, because 2016, I registered a company called Victory's Travel Agents. And by that time, I was working for Avis Car Rental. I was renting cars as a normal car, sales agent. So as I was renting cars, because I studied tourism management, so as I was sitting there, now I'm thinking, what took me to the university? I wanted to become a travel agent. So why I'm sitting here? What if now I understand the process of renting cars, booking flights and everything?
Everything, yeah.
If I leave this place and start my own thing, would I survive? Curiosity. I resigned 2018 and I started trading, like renting cars, and business was doing like
No risk, no reward.
Exactly. So when COVID came, the first sector that was affected was tourism industry.
Of course.
Airports shuttered, car rental companies shuttered. Now you don't have income, but you have the business. You understand? So that is why I'm saying curiosity sometimes will take you to places that you never thought you're gonna get there. Just because of being curious. That's what I'm gonna take from this episode today.
And don't be shy about getting burned. That burn is just gonna propel you forward.
Exactly. When I leave this door today, I'm carrying curiosity. What if I jump the road? What if that car is not gonna hit me when I
You mentioned the American dream and what people see in the movies.
Yeah.
And the fact is that that can exist. It cannot exist in a world without curiosity and without taking risks. You can build to that dream. I'm very proud of an initiative that we started actually during COVID. My wife and I saw everybody stuck in their homes and everything, and it was coming around toward Christmas. Wasn't a lot of spirit. People were feeling really down, and we developed this thing we called the Santa Parade in the community that we live in, and we built this giant sleigh. We put it on the back of a trailer. We hitched it to a truck. We got somebody to dress in a Santa suit, and we rode from house to house through this neighborhood, just bringing love and joy and laugh. And that happened during COVID, but we've done it ever since. So it's probably on its 5th year in the community. We had Kyle and Mahela join us this last time.
Really?
And they both look at each other and like, this is the American dream. This is what we see in the movies. So the reality is that you can create that. It's just not easy. It's just not easy. It takes a lot of work, a lot of perseverance, curiosity, and a lot of effort to get to that place.
Well, man.
That
great. I'm taking home. That I'm taking home.
I told you, King Nutty, that this is going to be a very special interview. And this man is coming with a lot of good insights.
Exactly.
And it's very much motivating. I'm literally just starstruck. I'm like literally grasping whatever Mr. Sweet is sharing with us. I'm like holding it with me. I'm hoping all the viewers back home, all the people that are actually in fear can be like, okay, actually, whatever I was actually thinking about, let me find out what's happening. Let me be curious about it. And it's going to take you somewhere. It's
because
most
that
definitely going to build
that
you.
Suit. There's reality behind that tie and suit, man.
And a very special woman.
Don't forget that.
Don't forget that.
That is
a very
very
special
true.
woman is going to handle that for you.
Yeah, I saw her the other time. Somebody introduced me to Mrs. Sweet the other day here, man.
Yeah.
You actually have a very nice woman.
Yeah.
Like, trust me, bro. When I go to the table introducing myself,
Yes.
and like everybody was playing around that table. Jordan was like, make sure that table not is But anyway, man, I'm happy for you. And that thing takes us back to say you must never judge the book by its cover. How you look, how many suits you have, how many suits you change, and all the stuff, and think that everything just came
silver
plated.
platter,
You had to work for that. You had to work your way up for that. Okay, because of the time, let us carry forward and talk about the lifestyle of the country club.
Okay,
Just take me deeper. Explain to me exactly what is a country club.
So I thought for sure my future was in hotels, possibly restaurants. I didn't really understand what the country club industry was until probably almost a year and a half working in a country club, when it all started to make sense. So in a hotel and a restaurant, your guests are transient. There's somebody in the seat today, you might build a small relationship, but they're gone.
They're gone.
And you're doing it again. So if you think about it in those terms, it's a superficial relationship. There's no real root, no real meaning. And I think there are two types of people in the world. Some thrive in those superficial moments.
Yeah.
They may be the ones that hold the cell phone back and do the Instagram posts and the TikToks. And my life is so great. But then there are real people who might use those same platforms to talk genuine, to talk authentically about hardship at the same time as greatness, right?
Yes.
And so in my mind, the country club relates more to that genuine soul, because you can only fake it for so long. And in a country club, it's the same person in the same seat
Same
day
seat.
in and day out.
Yeah.
And so for those humans, those people who thrive in creativity, finding ways to stimulate that same individual,
Yes.
you're going to love the country club industry. If you're somebody who wants to stick to a clean playbook of standards and do those same standards for different people every day, well, that's a hotel.
Yeah.
But when you're reinventing what we do to stimulate fun and have a good time, and when you can learn about Nati and where he came from in South Africa, and the fact that he ran his own business, and
Yes.
these are the things that he brings with him to the table, when he sits
true.
down and eats.
Yes.
Well, we learn about those things about our membership all the time. Of
course.
And so we build these real meaningful connections.
Of course.
And so those connections, they translate into real, genuine relationships.
Yeah.
So much so to the point where I won't share a name, but we had a team member who went through a significant hardship recently and lost a daughter. Totally unexpected, very, very young daughter. No plans, no ability to take care of the unfortunate responsibilities that come with
course,
that, right?
yeah.
You don't think about it. You just think about how horrible it is, but there are incredible expenses that go with that
Yeah,
for
with that, of course.
funeral arrangements, et cetera, et
Everything.
cetera. And when our membership heard about this, that they supported a collection effort that yielded, I want to say something like $20,000, $25,000 to help this young family through this time.
Wow.
That doesn't happen in a hotel.
Of course.
You don't see
yeah.
that in a
So
restaurant.
this is like a community now.
It
It
is.
doesn't,
It's
it's
a
not
community.
longer about member to
cute.
member. It's everyone, employees as well.
that's
That's
it.
very beautiful.
That's it.
That's very beautiful.
And so at the same time, that's an example of a hardship of an individual. But at the same time, as you said, this is a community.
Yes.
In Boca Woods is this little micro community of 645 homes, 1,200 members, 240 staff members. But we don't just stay here at Boca Woods. We bring in some major philanthropic efforts.
Yes.
We work with a group called Play for Pink, where we set up a tournament that raises money for charity that supports breast cancer. We do the same thing for the local firefighters because we realize all their needs aren't met by the government money they receive. We do the same thing with a group called Best Foot Forward that invests in youth who are in the foster program,
Of course,
who
yeah.
their biological parents are separated from them and they maybe don't have a ton of opportunities. And so there are all these opportunities to give back to the greater community when you're a part of a club.
Wow.
Yeah, it's special.
No, and I think I don't have to explain further. I don't want to ruin it. The way you put it,
is
like for me, it's 100%. And I know because even myself, when I was coming in America, I didn't know what was a country club. You know,
Yeah.
Until I got here, now I'm starting seeing this same face like every day, connecting with this person every day.
Yeah.
Now we're starting greeting each other, using names. Like now I'm like, okay, but when I go to the normal hotel, like you just meet a complete stranger, they don't know you, you don't know them. But here, the minute you get into the gate, even sometimes when I walk to work, like you always get those people, hey, Nati, come on, man.
Come on, let me get you a ride.
You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? So,
Yep.
so working for an industry like this, do you think it's challenging? Because
Yeah,
number
for
one,
sure.
if you work in a hotel, let's say you are a general manager in a hotel, we are dealing with guests. If it's poor service, you can only see it on Facebook trending,
Yes.
or maybe they comment on your website or whatsoever the case. Here, you see that person tomorrow.
tomorrow. It's gonna be like
So yeah. So do you think it's difficult to work in this kind of a sector?
I think for the wrong person, it's impossible.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is you made a great example. If you can't thrive in that moment, if you can't approach that person who you failed with humility and share your genuine, heartfelt apology and build past that,
Yeah.
then it's impossible. But if you can own your part, take personal accountability and grow, that same person who you might have let down at one point is going to be your biggest champion at another point.
Yeah.
Because they've
True.
seen you be genuine,
Yes.
hold yourself accountable, rise above it, and they're so proud to see you grow that they will help you grow.
Yeah.
That's what happens in a country club.
Yeah. So, but there was a time whereby you feel like, hey, today I don't feel like going to work because of what happened.
Oh, yeah, I think that's fair, absolutely. Especially in the GM role, it's different than in the service staff role. On the line level, when you're out with the membership every day delivering service, it happens typically from a transaction, right?
Yeah.
Where you're providing something and it didn't happen correctly. In the GM role, it's political in nature to a certain respect. Certain people don't like something that they believe is the direction of the club. Well, who do they blame for that? That's the general manager.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So again, if I'm doing this right, when we're winning, you all are winning.
Yeah.
When we're losing, I'm losing.
You're the limelight.
Yeah, I take the hits. You take the recognition.
Recognition.
Yeah, that's the role of the leader in a country club.
That must be very
You got to have
something
broad
else.
shoulders.
Yes.
And you got to be able to show up and not be afraid of what happened yesterday. You can't live in the past, and you have to be able to look somebody in the eye,
Yeah,
recognize those differences of opinion.
Just to reference from what you're saying, one of our leaders that we worked with actually, he used to say this is like, the best thing about working here, if you make a mistake or the service go wrong, tomorrow you have another opportunity to actually do it right.
Yeah.
Change that experience that they had previously.
Yeah.
You can make it. You
Other
can do it right.
places you go to
so
the
in a
office, you
hotel,
sign.
in a hotel it's different.
Yeah.
You know, it's you provide the best service. The other person is called country club.
There's a
that.
saying in business that goes back to that concept of taking risks, and it's that if you're not failing, you're not trying.
You're not trying.
So my advice to people who are interested in growing in their journey is to find a place, you mentioned it earlier, find a place that aligns with your values. It's really important, but also find a place that gives you the space to fail and the support to learn from it.
That's beautiful. And that's where we fail in life, especially when you go for something that you know, this is bigger than me.
Yeah.
I don't have the skills for this thing. It's like applying for a position knowing very well that you don't have the right qualities or the right skill to be, like that's where you're gonna fail and you're gonna fail, you understand? So sometimes it's okay to follow your skills, things that you can do better, and you apply for something that is aligned with your qualities. Don't go for something that you know this is bigger than me, and they will give you that opportunity. And they will expect you to perform. And because of you applied for the position without knowing what it requires for you to provide, at the end of the day, that's when you end up failing. And then we lose good bosses, we lose good managers just because of they applied for positions that are bigger than them. I'm not saying you're not gonna get there, but you're the only person who knows this is bigger than me. This is not the right time.
So this is exactly what I meant by trying to climb directly up a mountain and
so
falling.
Exactly.
When you go sideways a little bit, you learn a lot more. Your legs get stronger, and then you can rise with grace and confidence.
Oh my God, this is great.
The higher you climb, but the harder you fall.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna climb, they're gonna watch you.
You climb too fast, it's easy to fall.
It's easy to fall, and when you fall, man, trust me, it's gonna be hard because, you know, you climb. When you come down, now you have to explain to all of these stages now why you fell. It's like when you go to South Africa, let's say they fired you, like maybe you got fired in a...
And then you have to go back home.
Then you have to go back home. They're going to ask you every day, why are you fired?
Why are you here? What did you do?
So be careful, people. Be careful. Just... Like, life is a journey, man.
It's a journey.
Life is a journey. Take your time, especially if you want to lead people. You must take your time because once you occupy that chair, people, they expect service.
Yeah.
Mr. Davis, which will call you from home and say, hey, Nati, can you send me 1, 2, 3 by that time you applied for something that you don't know? Now you start asking people. You start with the laptop now. You start asking people, hey, you want this now, guys? You want... No. Yeah.
So my job and my role is to protect you.
Yeah.
Is to give you the space to fail, but also the support to learn from your failure. My job is to protect you, but there isn't anyone whose job is to protect me. So I'm going to share something with you that I think is really important for those people who are climbing and moving into those upper positions, because eventually you get to a place where you don't have a parachute attached to you. You don't have a wing that you can lean on. And that is this. Live your life by the values that you truly believe in. There will be pressures to compromise your values. Compromise is important, but never with your values. If you can look yourself in the mirror every morning when you wake up and every night before you go to bed and know that you lived by your values, no matter what happens, you did the right thing. And so that is how, in this role, I take a risk for this club. I will do something that is pushing the boundaries, but I believe in that because I want you all to have a better experience every day. I want our membership to have a better experience. And I can't create that better experience by keeping things the same. Because status quo is failing.
Yeah.
You just don't see it.
That's beautiful, man. That is why the things that we dream sometimes become curse in our life. Have you imagined that you were praying for a job, then you get it, now you can't sleep at night because you can't.
Well, because you started changing who you were because
Exactly.
of that. You try to keep the job for all the wrong
but now
reasons.
you can't.
Ooh, that's not
This
healthy.
was something that you've been praying for. That I wish I can become the general manager. Now you are now you can't sleep at night because
People who climb too fast, they start compromising their values to try to stay there.
Yeah.
That's ugly. We all know leaders who maybe we believed in, think are really good people, but they start doing things that don't represent who we know them to be.
Yeah.
That happens on a climb that happens too fast.
Yeah, I know it happens.
Yeah,
man.
you got to build your base and your confidence climbing that mountain.
Have a strong foundation.
Yeah.
Exactly. Know exactly why you're going up there.
Like I said, this is very much good in terms of, because most of the time we in country clubs we have the perspective as H2Bs. We're not really not knowing on what's happening on our employees' perspective. So this is very much great insight.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that carnival that we did last night,
Carnival.
the first year we did that, that was a huge risk.
That was a
major risk. But it aligned with our values. I believed it was the right thing to do. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it was wildly successful.
It was
No risk, no reward.
Sheesh.
So, Mr. David, how do you maintain the culture of the country club? Because now you are dealing with staff, you are dealing with members.
Yeah.
Like, for me personally, I would say the reason I'm in Boca Woods is because of the culture. Nothing else, you know.
course.
And I will tell you today, that's what I believe. Like, your management, the people you're leading, your staff are the true reflection of you as a manager or as a general manager. Because you're the one who's giving them instructions. You're the one who's telling this is how we do things here.
Yeah, in Boca
so
Woods,
if
yeah.
anything goes wrong, like you said before, that it comes back to you.
It's the light.
You
Your
understand?
light.
Oh, yes,
So-
it's my fault.
The only thing that makes me to be at Boca Woods today is because of the culture, nothing
culture that
else.
you
You
run,
go to the members, they want to know you. You go to the managers, you made a mistake, but you still feel comfortable that I can talk to this one. Like having someone like Adrian, our HR
Sure,
manager.
yeah.
She's the best person that whenever you are facing
Facing
crisis,
a
you can just go to.
I
and
love
face
that.
them.
Yes.
I'm very happy.
Yeah,
This
about
you
is
that.
know, you
actually
understand?
true.
So
That's awesome.
how do you maintain this culture?
Yeah, so there are people that will tell you that culture starts at the top, and it's humbling hearing you say that and putting that on me, and I appreciate that. It means a lot that we are where we are. We didn't start here.
Yeah.
3 years ago, when they asked me to take on the role of general manager, we were there were some things that were pretty broken in our culture. I think the way that we maintain culture is to first recognize that culture is not one person's job. Culture is about the decisions that everyone makes every day, day in and day out.
Yeah.
The decisions Wonga makes affects our culture. The decisions Nati makes affects our culture. The decisions everybody makes affects our culture. And when we choose to treat each other well, to treat people like people, to help people connect with passion, when we recognize that we're all a part of one team and there's no job that's too small, and really, frankly, no job that's too big, when we recognize the values, that's when culture happens in a positive way. So my job, my role with culture is to help us to always maintain that vision of who we are, our brand, what we believe in, and to connect people to that vision, and to recognize when someone is poorly aligned.
Yeah.
Because we'll make a mistake. We'll hire somebody who doesn't fit the culture. We have to act swiftly.
Swiftly,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because if we allow that negativity or somebody who doesn't have the same belief structure, if we allow them to take root, well, then the culture starts to compromise,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And people feel that.
Yeah.
So a part of the reason why you trust this culture is because the people hopefully I'm surrounding you with, and the people who my team members are surrounding you with, and the people who your directors are surrounding you with are people who at their heart, at their core, have similar values.
Yeah.
Or align with those values strongly enough where they become those values.
Yeah.
What happens in a poor environment, toxic culture, is when somebody is hired
Yeah.
at any level, and it's really bad when it's at an upper level because they like the idea of the values,
Yeah.
but they don't believe in
They
them.
don't believe them,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because they sow doubt and misbelief across the whole organization.
Yeah.
And there is nothing more toxic in a culture than people who don't believe in what they're doing.
Yeah.
If you think about the fights that happen, people tearing each other down, the negative things that you've seen, we've all seen them in different places. That toxicity is not about any one person. It's about failing to uphold and live by the values that you preach.
Yeah.
If you walk the talk, and if others walk the talk, then it's real.
Yeah.
But it can be unreal just like that. All it takes is one person who talks it, doesn't walk it, and then people just start to have doubts and don't believe
Don't believe in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, man. Because
I'm
the standard
saying-
of culture in Coachman remain the same.
They remain.
honestly,
that's what keeps us coming
Yeah.
back.
it is so similar to
Yeah.
religion.
Yeah.
I know that sounds crazy, but the religion that you grow up with teaches you a value structure.
Value structure,
And
of
you live
course.
when you live by it, you thrive. And if somebody doesn't live by it, unless the group helps that person to get back on page,
Of course.
it can start to spread.
To spread, yeah.
No different in a business.
Okay. That's beautiful, man. So, what makes your job difficult, like your position right now? I understand the fact that you have to deal with employees, you have to deal with membership, there's a conflict in the office, there is a lot going on around. I'm not saying that you are alone. The reason you have management, like there's no way that you can make this country club on your own. You are having people who are helping you to reach your goals as a general manager.
Yes.
So, what is the most thing that scares you every day, that makes you uncomfortable every day? What's the difficult part of your job?
I think that I look at myself as potentially the biggest barrier to our success.
Yeah.
So what do I mean by that? If I allow myself to be afraid of risks, if I allow myself to accept people on our team who are turning away from curiosity or their values, then I think that is the biggest fear for me personally. We're surrounded by wonderful people. We're blessed to have a wonderful team. The membership at this club is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Genuinely good people. There's a lot of really great things going on. So I think my biggest fear, I tend to be highly optimistic.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
And if I lean too hard into optimism and I build a blind spot to something that's happening and I allow it to happen for too long, I think that's my biggest fear.
Okay.
Okay.
It makes sense. It makes sense. It's fair for a leader anyway.
Yeah.
It's fair because as a leader, we all want the good things on our side and we all want our people to be happy.
The economy doesn't scare me.
Yeah.
The politics surrounding us doesn't scare me. The people on our team get me excited every day to walk into work.
Yeah.
The people that we work with here, the membership, they get me excited to come to work.
Yeah.
I don't have fears related to that. I look at those things as puzzles.
Yeah.
Right. If something it looks like a struggle, well, that's just a lot of fun for me because then we can find ways to overcome that struggle together. The fear is that I'll have a blind spot and I'll miss something important to our culture.
So, but there was a time where you say, I'm done, I'm leaving this. There was a time when you feel like, I'm resigning.
No, that's never happened.
You all-
I'll share this.
Yeah.
So this is kind of high level stuff, like GM stuff.
Yeah.
So a business in the United States and in many places is built on a set of bylaws.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
bylaws distribute the power of the business. Our bylaws were written in 2005.
Yeah, yeah.
It's 2025. Back in 2005, there were $11 million in assets that represented this club.
Yeah.
Today in 2025, we're working with like 40 million in assets.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a lot. Back in 2005, the operating budget was $11 million. Today, in 2025, our operating budget is $21 million. So
Yo.
the bylaws from 2005 haven't changed to 2025. And from a governance point of view, if the wrong people get in power and try to push the wrong things from a board level, they can try to bring us back to how we operated back then.
Yeah.
This club could not survive in that way.
Okay.
So there's a huge initiative right now amongst myself, the board members, my senior leadership, to help the club members understand how important it is to change the bylaws. And it takes 60% of the membership voting to pass changes to the bylaws.
Okay, that's nice. So my few last questions, not last, Michael, few last. Okay, have you been to South Africa?
No, it's on my list.
I think you should go.
Yeah, so Peter Petrina has invited Jamie and I twice now. Yeah, I think we're going to try to
I heard that you and Peter are sort of like friends.
Yeah, Peter's amazing.
Oh, really?
Peter's wife, Oana, yeah, they're amazing.
Okay.
Oh, that's
So you guys have a very good relationship.
Yeah, you know what? So I mentioned that when I first came here, they were J1s. The J1 experience is very different than the H2B experience. J1s are literally students with typically no work experience whatsoever. You shared with me as an H2B, you had your degree in tourism, you had already worked in tourism, and then you came over here. So you might not have experienced business in America, but you had a strong background to work with. We switched after my first year here at this club. We switched from J1 to H2B.
Is that because of your friendship, or?
I didn't have the friend. I didn't even know Petrina.
Okay.
So, but this is the story of how I met him. So, as the AGM at the time in 2016, I hop on a plane to travel to New York because I've got to get in a car with Peter, and he's going to tour me around to 8 different clubs where I'll sit and I'll interview 15 people, 20 people at each of these different clubs. And so I'm going through this process. But these clubs, it's not like Boca where the clubs are 10, 15, 20 minutes away. We're in the car for an hour and a half sometimes, just talking. And Peter, he is a remarkable person. This man is
very organized.
He's very organized. He's extremely intelligent.
Oh my goodness,
He takes no bullshit, which personally I respect.
No, we know that.
I did
we
it.
know.
I cursed on your podcast. I apologize.
Yeah, it's okay.
So yeah, you all know one side of him, but I see a very different side from that chair. And I've never seen somebody with more love, respect, and care for the people in his program than Peter Petrina.
Oh man.
Peter literally.
Shout out to Mr. Petrina.
Also, Mr. Petrina has a lot of H2Bs in his program, but he knows each and everything about this.
Everybody.
That's good.
He knows everything about everyone.
There are 2 major programs. I won't speak about the other one, but in one of the programs, the H2B programs, pretty much everybody's working at a fixed wage. In Peter's program, he literally designed his program recognizing that each individual brings different skills and strengths to the table. So each person should be negotiating their own wages. So Peter's values aligned completely with my values. We were laughing and talking, and we became close friends on that first visit, to the point where I give him a call when I'm headed to New York. He calls me when he's coming to Florida.
Okay,
we meet up. We have so much fun together.
Yeah, I have one question for Mr. Petrina. When it comes here, let me know. I have just one question. Maybe that question is gonna make us or break us.
No risk, no reward.
We're curious.
Yeah, but no, trust me, man. He deserves all the flowers. The guy is making a lot of change in South Africa. Like you were telling me that in California then, the unemployment rate was 9%.
Yeah, 9% in California, and then in Rhode Island and New England, 9.5%.
You want to give a guess how like in South Africa right now, the employment rate? You want to give a guess?
Yeah, I'm not going to embarrass myself like that.
Like now we are going to like 35.
Yeah, that's
unemployment. People, like, think about the youth. Here, I'm just going to send a shout out to Mr. Petrina because, trust me, he's making a lot of
changes.
Like, him going to South Africa.
Interviewing people.
Like, interviewing people.
Yeah.
Like, trust me, those guys, when they leave America, when they get home, they afford to buy houses. They afford to buy good cars. They afford to start businesses. And they're able to bring other people
on board.
So the guy is, the reason I'm asking you about him, like, it's because he's doing a lot of change. I want him to know that. There was a time where, because he brought my brother also, I sent him an email to say, hey, Peter, man, I have a brother, so and so. Because of the relationship that we have, me and him, like, he was like, okay, it's fine. I'll bring your brother. He didn't make favors. The boy is very smart. Like, he didn't make favors, but he was like, no, I'll interview your brother.
Just to see, yeah.
Like, within 2 months, he was like, no, your brother is on the way. You understand? Now I have a family in America. So you consider Mr. Petrina as your friend right now?
Yeah, no question. No
Okay,
question.
that's beautiful, man. Ja, don't forget, when he's here, just let me know.
Yeah, that really
Question.
that relationship started in 2016, so
Yeah.
we've been friends for 9 going on 10 years.
Okay, the reason I'm asking you if you've been to South Africa is because of in your country club, your director of food and beverage is a South African. Your operational director is a South African. Your supervisor, Jordan, is a South African. We are South African.
Yes, you are.
So I just feel like I'm not gonna say Boca Woods is led by South Africans, but there's more population of South African in your country club. Do you have something with South Africans, or it just happened by?
So, love the culture, love what you
Okay.
guys bring to the table.
Okay.
But to me, it's not just about South Africans; it's about people
Yeah.
and their values. And so, I have found, in my experience, that the people who I meet, including the two of you,
Yeah.
extremely gracious.
Okay.
You show humility and humble, but at the same time, you show a high level of self-confidence.
Okay.
Hardworking. You care. You genuinely put your heart into what you do.
Yeah.
So that's how I grew up. So, and when I look at building my team, when I look at how we're going to achieve something, I think in a big part, I look for those people who have that same drive and skill set. I don't look for cookie cutters.
Okay.
I could find a Dave Sweet who graduated college and who could be the food and beverage director.
Yeah.
I could find a Dave Sweet to be the director of operations. But the reality is, if I populate our team with a bunch of myself, we become very one-dimensional.
Yeah.
We can't see the big picture. And I just shared with you my biggest fear is
Yeah.
having blind spots.
Yeah, yeah.
So the more that we can build out a team with different backgrounds, different nationalities, different ways of thinking,
Yeah.
neurodiversity, the way that somebody approaches something and thinks, the way somebody processes something, it's completely different with different people.
Yeah.
So when you can bring all those people together, it's not easy in the beginning, but when you can bring them together and teach them about each other and get them to work like this hand in hand, well, that's how you build your mirror in a way that you don't have blind spots.
I'm happy and I'm so grateful to be sitting with you like this today and having to share your personal story, having to share your journey in your career, and having to take me back to South Africa and speak about Mr. Petrina as well.
That's
that makes
great.
me so happy and it makes my day. And
He's a
like I
great guy.
said to you, what I will take from this conversation today, you know, like a curiosity. Be curious about the things. Don't always look at the cons, you must also look at the pros. You understand? You must check both to say, okay, if I do this thing, how is it going to affect me as a person? If you fail, it's okay. Start all over. You understand that? Because that's how it is. The reason I asked you the question that what is the most scary part about your job, I thought maybe you will say, if one day members show up and say, we don't want David, we don't want David.
It's okay.
It happens, you understand? But one thing I can tell you is that you are human. And when you are in a position that you are in right now, as a leader, you must accept criticism. Criticism must be part of your journey. You wake up in the morning, you go back, criticism must be part of your journey because of people will always criticize you. People will always compliment you again.
I will share with you, Nati, that that is not one of my fears, in part because it happened here at Boca Woods 2 years ago.
Okay.
2 years ago, we were on a path where there was a board that was concerned about, quote, saving money.
Okay.
The worst thing that you can do in a country club for people's lifestyles is to, quote, save money.
Okay.
The reason why they're paying dues is because they want a lifestyle.
Okay.
In part, that lifestyle is built upon luxury. Well, efficiency is the opposite of luxury. McDonald's is an efficiency model for a restaurant. The Capitol Grill is a luxurious model for a restaurant. People aren't coming to a country club to experience McDonald's. They're coming to a country club to experience life.
Yeah.
So we started doing something in a way that didn't resonate with our membership.
Yeah.
And they did show up like that. They failed one of the budgets that we put forward.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had to look in the mirror really, really hard that year and say, who are we? Where are we headed? Are we living by our values? And I had to make some big changes. And so I'm not afraid of that.
Okay.
And I don't think anyone should be. I said before, as long as you're living your life by your values, if one day the club decides that they don't want me, there's not somebody above me protecting me, that's okay.
It's part of life.
It's a part of life.
Life
That's
has to
okay.
start all over. It's fine. It's part of life, man. We watch soccer. Players are moving from one team to another.
Yeah.
Like musicians are moving from one label to another. So, but with your values and everything that you do for this country club, trust me, looking from the window, man, you are a great man. Trust me, you are the good man.
appreciate
As
that.
based on the H2Ps that we've worked
man,
with you,
like you are doing
we
so
feel like-
wonderful. For us, like sometimes when you talk about you, it's like we speak about somebody who initially took us straight from Southern Brothers
Brothers here.
We belong here. This is our home.
our home.
But without wasting of any time, Mr. David Sweet, the people you leading, your management, some of the members, and some of the H2Ps will be watching this episode. What is there that you can say to your management, to your employees, the people that we are leading here, and after, what is there that you can encourage H2Bs coming into America to start a lifestyle? But before then, I just want you now to appreciate your staff, things that you want to say to them, like just show them the love as much as you can. Because there are people sometimes, there are things that you want to address, but maybe you don't find the platform, that you can do. Here is Drive-Thru to deliver the message.
I appreciate that. I'm blessed because we developed that platform here quite a bit at the club, but I will share this publicly because I think it's important that the message goes beyond the four walls of this business. I think that people need to understand what's going on here. Over the last 3 years, I've been here now 9, and in the last 3, I've served as general manager for this club. I am so, it makes me humble to see where we have grown from and where we're headed in these last 3 years. People like you all who are on this team, the 240 people who are a part of our culture, who are living it, breathing it, and genuinely believe in it, we've accomplished incredible things together in Sky is the Limit. So I shared with you that I'm not afraid of a tomorrow where they ask me to leave. So long as this club continues to perpetuate the values that I hold dear, we populate it with people who have those same values. I see so much potential in this club. I'll be here for 20 years. And it is because of the people on this team who are living it and breathing it and believing in it every day, because in those moments, all of that translates to a product that members want to be a part of. So what do I mean by that? A couple years ago, 30, 40, 50 houses on the market in Boca Woods. Right now, there's not a single home for sale because the moment it goes on the market, somebody's buying it because they want to join this club.
Wow.
We have 60
amazing.
outside memberships. There's a wait list of 42 to get in, but we only have 60. So the demand for this product has grown tremendously in the last 3 years.
Oh my God,
and it's because of the work that you all have joined in on and that you're helping us perform. So I don't see this slowing down anytime soon. I don't see this susceptible to the economy or to politics. What we're building here, in my mind, is truly special, and I believe that you're going to see it just continue. The concepts that we're talking about, huge development, maybe $9 to $12 million developing a pool and a casual dining restaurant, the $9 million that they just spent on this beautiful golf course behind us. These are all things that are happening because they're confident in the operations that you all are delivering every day. So what can I say to my people? Thank you. What I say to you is thank you, because you have made all of this possible. A vision is nothing unless people believe it.
Oh my goodness. We are learning a lot today. So to those H2Bs, because people are coming from all over the country, like coming to work here, and what is there that you can say to them, especially to the internationals?
So I think what I would say is some of what we've already said. If you've never been in the H2B program and you're interested, you're curious, own that curiosity and hop on the plane and come. But just don't expect what you've seen in the movies and on TV.
Please, can you just tell my mom that? She's asking.
I don't know. You look very pretty there. Tommy Hilfiger, Calvin Klein. You look great. Don't believe what you see. No, but the reality is though that you can grow into that American dream, but just don't expect it to be given to you. Expect to grind for it. Expect to work hard for it. Expect to set foot in a property that it might not be your values the first time around. But hang in with it, get through that, and move on to another property where it does, and build enough credibility where you can start demanding the environments that you want to be in because you become a desirable commodity. Each one of you out there is a brand.
Yeah.
And when you respect your brand, when you treat your brand well, when you work and you develop that brand becomes very desirable.
Yeah.
And we'll all be looking for you if you do that. But your brand doesn't happen just because you step foot on the plane and you landed in the States. Your brand happens because you put the effort in and the energy in. You cared. You showed people that you cared about them. You found a way to be genuine. You found a way to rise up from that moment when you failed somebody else.
Yeah.
You found a way to look that person in the eye and grow past it. You found a way to develop a brand that has integrity, and people want you because of that. That's where the American dream comes from. That's mine.
Thank you so much. Dangerous, do you have anything to say?
I do have. I've been like, this has been so amazing. I've been quiet and just grasping the knowledge from Mr. David Street. Also, I was actually speaking to our cameraman, Michael. Shout out to you, by the way.
Thank you, Michael.
I was telling Michael, the most important thing that you can give someone is not money, is not any, if you give them their time.
Yeah.
Not every general manager always has something. Mr. Sweet also has something, but we just asked this more time. He saw that, okay, these guys have something, have a great
And it's almost
program.
2 hours now.
Yes, and he gave us that time that he's also sharing, you know.
Yeah.
And we actually do have something for you, Mr. Street. It is a culture in our podcast where we actually provide something. So this is just to say thank you for the time that you're giving.
Oh, guys,
to the
you don't have to do
drive-thru.
this. It's very
This
sweet.
this is something just to say thank you for just coming to the drive-thru.
Yeah.
Well, boys, I look forward to a day very soon when we open it together.
Okay, that's what we're great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
no, thank you so much, Mr. Sweet. For me as a hoster, like, I feel so honored to share this seat with you today. And I'm looking forward for your ideas, and I'm learning a lot from you from distance. Working closely to Kyle, Devlin, and all the stuff, it's the same as if like I'm working close to you, because the guys are a true reflection of you. You understand? So thank you so much for taking care of this community, and thank you so much for being yourself to everybody, everyone in this country club. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Costa Timtem.
Well, he said. Well done, Mom.
Mr. David, thank you
for
so
this.
much. I really appreciate it, man.
Thank you, sir.
God
Thank
bless you. Okay,
Thank you.
anyway, thank you so much.
Yeah,
sir.
it's my pleasure.
I wish God bless you, and I wish more success for you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Michael, thank you, my brother. We really appreciate, man. Yeah?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
You are the best.
Much love.
All right.
You guys are
that
super
was
sweet.
That was great. That's from
Cheers.
all the HCDs.